the Beard Bros podcast. Before we get started, like the video, subscribe if you haven't. Give a huge shout out and a thanks to our guest today that we're about to introduce. He's a fighter. Go ahead and introduce yourself, my dude.
All right. My friends know me as Leo. My name is Leonid Grachev. I'm Russian. I live in Albuquerque. I'm a professional boxer.
Hey, let's go.
Let's go, man. That's what's up. I just want to say thank you. Like, for real, I reached out to you on Instagram. You guys, go follow him. The link will be in the description below. Go to his Instagram, follow the guy. You're 3-0, right?
Yes, sir.
And you just won this past weekend, right, at the Kiva Auditorium?
Kiva Auditorium at the Convention Center, so 3-0 now.
Hey, let's go.
What weight class you in?
Heavyweight, man. The fun one.
Oh, you're heavyweight.
How tall are you, dude?
I'm 6'6".
Damn, you're a little bit shorter than me, man. That's crazy. I'm just kidding.
6'6". I want to ask this. So you're heavyweight. You don't really have a cap, I guess you could say. But what is your walk-in weight usually?
When I'm in great shape, I'm usually between 230 and 240. But like you said, there's no cap. I fought dudes that have been over 300 pounds, some big boys. So, takes all kinds.
Hell yeah, man. So before we really dive deep into your boxing career as of right now, you mentioned you're Russian. I mean, tell us your story, dude. Tell us where you came from, how you got into boxing, and just get us started.
Yeah, bro. So, with Halloween coming up, I came to America on October 31st, 1998. And funny thing is, dude, I've never heard of Halloween in my life. And this was like before 9/11, dude. So when I got on the plane, all the stewardesses and pilots were dressed up. And I'm like, what the hell, man? And I was asking my mom, I'm like, why is everybody dressed up? And she didn't know either. She's like, Americans just like to have fun. And I was like, yeah, all right. So, I had no idea what any of that was about. Spent some time in Arizona, moved to Colorado. I don't know if you guys knew this. After I got my degree, I actually lived in Roswell for about 2.5 years.
Really?
Shit, bro. No way. That's what's up. I made sure to put Roswell in there. I had no idea, though.
So that's a twist. That's crazy.
For the viewers, I hit him up. I guess I should have finished the story. I hit him up on Instagram, seeing he had just went 3-0 this past weekend. I was like, yo, this guy's a local, kind of. I mean, you're not from here, but you live here.
Yeah.
You reside here. So I was like, I'm going to take a chance. We've done it in the past, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So when you hit me back up, we were actually done filming. And he's like, what? And we were stoked, dude.
Yeah,
we appreciate it for real.
Man. I was so hyped. But that's crazy. You said you got a degree and then moved to Roswell. What was the degree in?
My degree's I'm an engineer. My degree's in petroleum engineering.
Yo, this man's an engineer too.
I'm an engineer too, dude. I'm a civil engineer.
Crazy.
Dude, that's crazy. How old are you, by the way?
Don't say that.
I'm 31 now. I was in Roswell from when I was 23 till I was about 25.
So 1990 is your year, right?
That's it.
Bro, I was born in 1992, dog.
No, this is
what
crazy.
are the chances of any of this? Bro, you're like my...
Wait. When's your birthday?
He already turned 31, so
I was like,
yeah. Bro, you're a brother from another country.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's crazy, man. Okay, so let's calm down a little. We're becoming fanboys.
Yeah, we were just like, that was crazy for a second.
So you moved here. What were you doing here, dude?
So I was working for Schlumberger. They used to have a shop, I think, off of College.
College and Union.
Yep, College and Union.
Yes,
That's
sir.
it. I think they closed it down now, but I was out there and I was an open hole wireline engineer, so we went all over the southeast New Mexico, West Texas, out in the Permian Basin. So, I didn't really know when I was going to school, man. They just gave us a list of all the degrees and stuff, man. And I was playing football at the time. I didn't really care. I wanted to play ball, and I saw petroleum engineers made the most money, so I was like, I'm gonna do that. So I got oil field money.
Dang, dude, that's crazy. So you wanted to play ball. Did you play ball at all, or what happened?
Yeah, man. So I started playing football kind of late. I started in 8th grade. I never touched a football before then. I saw it on TV, and people were like, man, it's tackle football. I get to hit people. And I was always a big kid. I was like, yeah, man, I want to do that. Literally never played football a day in my life. And they put up this piece of paper, had all the positions on there. And the coach said, pick a position, tell me what you want to play. And I was reading, and like I said, I didn't know anything else. I said tackle. I'm like, ooh, that means you get to tackle people. I want to be a tackle. So they put me on the O-line. And like 2 games in, I'm like, yo, coach, what the hell is this? This sucks, man. I don't get to hit anybody. He said, oh, you want to play on defense? I'm like, yeah, man. So they moved me to defense. In high school, I ended up playing tight end. And, I got a lot of D2, D1 AA offers, but nothing from any D1 universities. So I was hoping I'd play for a year or 2 and then transfer out. So I played for a year at the Colorado School of Mines in Golden. But I don't know. I kind of lost interest in it a little bit, and that's when I started fighting. Me and 2 of my friends, we bought 2 pairs of MMA gloves, and we just beat the shit out of each other. Like, we didn't know what we were doing, man. But, we throw them on. And then the summer after my freshman year, I went to an MMA gym, and that's where it all started. And eventually, I really got into kickboxing and got into boxing, and the rest history,
Dang, bro, that's wild. You were doing football. Had you ever, like, maybe playground fights or whatever you want to call them, but had you even thought of fighting at all ever?
Not seriously. It's like growing up, we always fought, but nothing in that capacity. I wanted to try something new, and I wanted to be a tough guy, and I'm like, man, that's a tough guy sport, fighting. So I wanted to do that. So that's how I came to it.
So how long now have you been fighting, amateurly and even professionally?
So I started fighting when I was 18. So about 13 years now. And I started fighting pretty quick. Some people, they start training. I'll train 6 months, a year, 2 years, and they start fighting. I kind of walked through the gym, and I told them, hey, man, I want to fight. And I just kept coming. And I think maybe 3 or 4 weeks after I showed up, like, hey, man, there's this little smoker show we're doing, MMA Smoker. And I was like, yeah, man, put me in. So, they got me in there right away.
Damn, dude, that's... You got
I was just gonna say, you said you wanted to be like the tough guy. You wanted to be on the defensive end to tackle. Then you wanted to fight. So you definitely wanted to be like that aggressor on the field, now in the ring. So it's kind of like the same world pretty much. It's just you just wanted to hit and get the aggression out. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think so. Back when I was younger, I didn't really have my identity put together, but I was like, man, I see these dudes on TV, and that's what I want to be, and I was just kind of blindly following that. But eventually I fell in love with it. That's it kind of became a huge part of my life.
And so you said you had bought some MMA gloves, and then you got into kickboxing, and now do you do any MMA? Are you just a boxer? Are you a little bit of both?
Just strictly boxing. I've been strictly boxing for about the last 7 or 8 years. But interesting enough, I have a lot of friends in the MMA community, and they'll pay me to come out and train with them. Some big guys that fight in the UFC and such. So I've done quite a few MMA camps with some high level fighters. But me myself, I don't fight MMA anymore, man. It's too many variables, and I'm doing good at boxing, and I'd be real upset if I hurt myself one way or the other.
So with those variables, like, you have a lot of head trauma with boxing. Is that like a concern for you?
I always talk with my coaches, my loved ones, my team. I always tell them, hey, man, if you think I'm starting to slow down, please tell me. I don't want to get to the point where, I'm already gone, and, they're like, hey, man, maybe you should think about taking it easy. I don't want to get to that point. I've been blessed enough to not have any serious injuries, and I feel like my head's fine. I haven't had any serious traumas there, so as long as I feel healthy, man, I want to keep doing this. My body feels great, so why not?
Hell yeah, man. I mean, it sounds like you're a man on a mission. What is your goal? Like, what's your goal right now with the boxing career?
From day one, it's always been to be a world champion, and whatever I do in life, I always want to be the best. That's just the mindset I've always had. I can't even like play board games with my sister. I always try to demolish her, and then we get in a fight. Pick up basketball, same thing, man. So world champion, that's it.
Hell yeah. Do you have a scheduled fight next, or is it still too early?
So I actually sat down with my team this week, talked with my manager. They're hoping to get me in before the end of the year. I don't know if it'll be in New Mexico. Might have to travel to California or somewhere out west, Nevada maybe. But hopefully we'll get another one in. And the promotion I just fought for, Legacy Boxing, they really like me. So they told me, next time they're throwing the show, they're going to put me on there.
Hell yeah, man. That's what's up, dude. Now I'm like, I want to watch you fight.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'm cool with talking, but I want to see you in action, man. I'm excited. So let's just say, for instance, we don't get the end of the year fight or before then. What's your off season like a little bit? Like, what are you gonna be doing? What's your downtime like?
Man, for me, it's really hard to walk away from the gym even when I don't have anything planned. So I'll say even when I'm not in camp, I still work out twice a day. But for fun, man, I'm a huge outdoors guy. I love rock climbing. I love hiking. I love just, getting lost up in the mountains. There's days when I like to stay home and, play video games. But for the most part, I like to do active stuff, get out there and explore, really.
Hell yeah. No, you're in the right place. Albuquerque has a lot of trails, mountains. I don't know if you go hunting or not, but you're in a good place to do all those outdoor activities.
Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, that's why I love it out here. I live 15 minutes from the mountains. I can hop in my car, drive down, start climbing, start hiking. It's, middle of the week. I don't need to make any big plans. It's just right there in my backyard.
So, question: are you a southpaw or conventional? How do you fight, man?
I'm conventional, man. I'm not a lefty. I've tried it before. I feel awkward doing it, so I have success as an orthodox fighter.
Okay. So, we didn't get to watch this fight, right? Break the fight down for me. I don't know how much I don't know. Do you remember the fight, or is it like a blur?
Man, for me, I almost never remember any of my fights, but I've seen a few of my friends got some footage. About 2 weeks before the fight, they told me the guy that I was supposed to fight, he never signed the contract. So I said, hey, we got you a different guy. I said, okay. Looked him up, couldn't really find any video. But then towards the end, we got some. He seemed like a smaller guy. I think he was only very short guy. He was about 5'9", man.
Oh,
only about 5'9", but man, I'll tell you this before I start talking about how the fight went. That dude probably had the hardest head I've ever hit. I was unloading on him, dude. I was dropping bombs. The dude, boom, you get rocking. You come right back. I'm thinking, dang, man, all right. And I'd be landing big shots, man. The day after the fight, man, my wrists, my bones in my hands, everything was black, dude. I was like, dang, I bruised my hands on this fool's head. So, I knocked him down, but I couldn't knock him out. And I was like, man, that's the first time I've seen a dude like that. So, but yeah, man, the fight went good. He was a shorter guy, and as boxing would dictate, the shorter guy has to come to the taller guy. Mm-hmm. And so he was coming forward. I was working the jab. I was throwing a lot of big counters, and they were all landing. So I'm like, boom, beautiful, but the dude stayed on his feet, so a lot of props to him. Second round, more of the same. Third round is when I got the knockdown. I tried to finish him, but the round ended. Fourth round, we came out, dude. He came forward, man. The guy came to fight. He earned his money. I'll tell him that because, sometimes you get the opponents, they come out, you hit them a few times, they go down. They say, man, they're already paying me. They're not going to get back up. This dude, he came to fight, so he definitely got my respect.
Damn, that's what's up, though, man. That's probably the biggest compliment you can give another fighter is the respect. Because I think I've watched enough fights, like, in all my life, that you do see that sometimes when the guy will just kind of concede to the loss. It's like, you know what? You're the better guy tonight. I'm good. I ain't trying to get like, you know who did that recently? You obviously you said you wrestle or MMA. Nick Diaz when he came back recently and he lost to Robbie Lawler. I'm not saying he wasn't hurt, but it did look like he kind of gave up a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I think so, man. You know, that wasn't, at least looking at his body, that was definitely far from the best Nick we've seen. You know, I don't know how serious we took it, but Lawler, you know, he came to get it, man. He came in shape, you know, he came to fight. So, you know, hats off to him. But that's the way the game goes sometimes. And, you know, it's kind of that weird little gray area, you know, like as a fighter, do you sacrifice your health for the glory? Like, you know, I don't know. So, you know, it's a personal choice. You know, we can sit back here as spectators and be like, man, what a pussy, quit. But, you know, at the same time.
All respect to any and everybody that ever steps in the ring. Not even just a ring, but in general, just to fight somebody. You know, you have to have balls just to do something like that.
Yeah, because my ass is not getting in no ring, no octagon, no wrestling mat. Nope, I'm going to be in the stands, and that's where I'll stay. I'm not getting anywhere close
I do
to that.
have a question, and this is shout out to my boy Aaron, because he's not here. Hopefully one day you get to meet him or whatever, man. But he always brings this up. You said you had kickboxed before, right? And I'm sure you practiced a little bit of kickboxing here and there, maybe for just the exercise and whatever. He always brings up the fact that, oh, if so-and-so, you know, kicked you in the leg, do you think you could do it? I'm sure you've been kicked in the leg by someone that probably does kickboxing or whatever. How bad is the pain, and do you think some average Joe like myself would be able to sustain the kick?
Oof. That's a loaded question. Would an average Joe be able to sustain a huge kick? Probably not. Would a trained fighter be able to do it? Yes. You know, when you handle enough, when you take enough punishment, you kind of get used to the pain. Your nerves, they deaden a little bit, you know, so you can take a little bit more damage than the average guy. I'm good friends with like Alistair Overeem, for example, and he always invites me out to do camps with him. And, you know, whenever he wants to kick, I'm like, dang, man, it's going to be a long day. You know, he kicks so hard, and anytime he needs me, that ruins my freaking day, dude. But
that's a true homie, though, I guess.
Yeah, I guess, right?
That's so cool, though, man.
Yeah, man, you know, like as a fighter, you can't show it. You know, once you show it, that's going to light the other dude up. It's like, oh, he's hurt. Time to get him out of there. But, you know, it hurts, and you eat it, and you stay in there. You know, the fight goes on. You can hopefully recover and turn it around. So, yeah, you know, a lot of the shots you see guys taking, yeah, they could very well be hurt, but they don't show it.
Well, that answers. There you go, Aaron. If you were wondering, I probably can't take the kick.
So, in those MMA camps, how do they help you in the boxing scene?
You know, I actually enjoy sparring with MMA guys because a lot of the time they do stuff that's a little unorthodox to a classic boxer. So, you know, sometimes you get this guy, you know, here's the book of boxing. He doesn't even read the book. He comes out and does his own thing. So, you know, you're looking for 1, 2, 3, and he comes out, you know, throws something completely off the wall. So you got to stay sharp with him. I've noticed in sparring, especially, MMA guys take a lot more risks. You know, in boxing, it's a chess game. You paint, touch, stick it, boom, let it go. MMA guys, they'll just come right at you, you know. And that's kind of a catch-22. Sometimes they'll catch you because you don't think they're coming, but other times it leaves them open to a lot of counters. So that's kind of what I've seen in my time with MMA guys.
Dang, that's pretty good. No, I had not thought about anything, but you're right. Like whenever, I don't know, I don't even want to bring this topic up, but like when Woodley boxed Jake Paul recently, I know, but he fought kind of unorthodox. Like he fought kind of MMA boxing. It wasn't your traditional, like you mentioned, painting him up or whatever. I mean, that opens my eyes to the whole scene. What are your thoughts on Jake Paul? I don't know if you have any.
I do have some thoughts.
I want to hear them.
as far as that fight itself is concerned, I feel like Tyron Woodley dropped the ball a little bit. I thought it was a very winnable fight for him. He should have stepped on the gas a little more. But, like I said, it's easy to criticize from here when we're not in there. This is another big topic of discussion. Are people like Jake Paul good for boxing? On the one side, you say, yeah, man, they bring in a lot of fans, they bring in the money. But on the other side, you have fighters that have been doing this for 10, 20 years, just trying to, scrape something together. Along comes a guy that's been doing it for a year, boom, $10 million fight. And so, but me personally, no, I'm not opposed to it. I'm under the idea that, if people are willing to pay for it and they're not willing to pay for you, there's your answer right there. You got to get better. You got to get more exciting. You got to sell yourself.
That's true. I mean, it does help that Jake Paul, and I mean, even as the Paul brothers, you can say they've had that YouTube platform, and they've just used it to their advantage, And again, like you said, from sitting on my couch, I could criticize or whatever, but just stepping in the ring itself, whether it's with Woodley or whoever, it's just a little bit of respect. Cause I mean, Jake Paul looked like he had gotten rocked at least that one round for a split second. So that to me is real as it gets, no matter what. I wanted to ask you, so, you've been boxing for a while now, and obviously you didn't start at a young age, you started later on. But is there anybody you try to emulate or that you like as far as maybe they watching or old school boxers or anything like that, man?
Absolutely, man. If I say there's maybe 2 or 3 guys that I classically try to emulate, one of them would have to be Lennox Lewis. I very, very much like, how technical he is, how he finds the shots, how composed he stays in there. I like both the Klitschko brothers for different reasons. Part of it, they're both, from my neck of the woods. So that's always, something good to see. Vladimir, very technical, great with the jab, great with the 1-2. Vitaly, very unorthodox, but he's got heart. Every time he goes out there to fight, he shows a lot of heart. And that's something I really like. And, watching guys like that, it kind of I feel like it instills those qualities in me a little bit.
Yeah, that's quite the list there, man. Like, you caught me off guard. You have a lot of people that have them cliche boxers, Muhammad Ali and Tyson or whatever. You came up with some good ones.
Lennox Lewis, the legend, bro.
That's what's up, man. And so, okay, I gotta ask, because this is a big fight in itself. Boxing, heavyweights, go figure. Fury Wilder, man, what was your thoughts on that? Like, give us a little breakdown. What you thought you seen in the trilogy? Is it worth the 4th one?
I don't think there should be a 4th one. I thought it was a great trilogy, and I thought the 3rd one was a great fight, perhaps the greatest of all 3. A lot of fun, a lot of build up to it. Deontay Wilder came in huge, man. The guy was a monster at 238. And, I was sitting there like, dude, if he connects, that's trouble. And, Tyson's been working with Sugar Hill Stewart out of Kronk, and he looked great. He looked polished up. Came in big, too, at 277. He always comes in big. But I thought it was a very interesting tactical approach. And we actually saw Wilder come out there with a game plan a little bit, It was obvious, he was going to throw a couple 1-2s to the body and go up top. But, usually he just comes out there, sticks it out there, and bombs the right hand. So I thought it was very cool to see that. I thought, I was going crazy in that, 3rd round when Fury got knocked down. Then he came back, knocked Deontay down. And, man, it was a very fun fight to watch. That whole card was exciting. They had 4 heavyweight fights on there. And the undercard had some good fighters. I had Edgar Berlanga on there. So the whole card was great. And I loved the main event as well, man.
Hell yeah, man. No, it's good to just hear an actual boxer's perspective on it, as fans, I guess we get, that fight built the hype, and then also it lived up to the hype because we're seeing guys knock each other down back and forth. So as fans, that's what we want to see. Sometimes, you'll get a fight that's a little boring because you ain't getting knockdowns. They're just kind of, touching each other here and there. But it's good to see and hear someone that actually has the knowledge behind it. Like you mentioned earlier, whenever it's MMA compared to boxing, it's just not.
You would never think, like, whenever you're talking about like certain different sports but pretty similar sports, that they're like so far away from each other. Like he said, in MMA they're coming up quick, fast. In boxing they're playing chess. It's like you don't really think about that. Like you don't.
No,
not as a fan, you don't really think about that.
What's Dang, I should have known her name. She's the Olympic boxer, and she's thinking.
Clarissa Shields.
Yes. What do you think of her transitioning potentially into the MMA?
She's actually about to have her second MMA fight in a few weeks. She trains here at Jackson Link in Albuquerque. She's a super cool girl, man. I think that's a very big step for her to step out of her comfort zone. I think it's awesome to see her. It's cool to see her in the gym, doing stuff. Because, she's a top-tier boxer. But, now she's a beginner again, And I'm just, like, watching her. It's like you start playing tennis for the first day. Even if you're a great, footballer, you're not going to be good at it. So it's very exciting to see her put everything together and then let those hands go. Pretty risky for what it is, but, that kind of shows her character, where she's at, and the kind of things she wants to do. And I hope she makes a lot of money doing it.
Yeah, I think she has a bright future. The boxing's down, and in women's, she's a bigger girl as it is. So it's going to be hard for her to be taken down. She's probably going to be the aggressor anyways. And then she's got the boxing skills. And as you've seen, like Amanda Nunes, and Cyborg before Amanda took her head off and stuff. But the boxing with women, if you got some hands, you're pretty good in the sport. So I'm excited. I'm hoping she signs on with UFC eventually and maybe gets that Nunes fight one of these days.
Man, I hope so. Maybe in a few years. I think she's still fighting for PFL. I don't know if she's on contract with him or if she's fight to fight. But like I said, she's got another fight here in a few weeks. And, God willing, she wins that. Gets a couple more fights, maybe gets signed to the UFC and works her way up, man. That'd be a very interesting journey to see.
Heck yeah, man. Well,
speaking of journey, I want to know a little bit about the Russian journey of you. Like, I want to know a little bit more about that culture, because I had never been. He's never.
No,
been.
I've never been.
I want to know how that situation molded you into the fighter, or helped you. You look back at it and you're like, yo, being there really put me in a different place in the ring now.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And I don't think there's a lot of direct American comparisons to what it was like growing up, in the Soviet Union and the early post-Soviet days. As a kid, I remember back then, when you're a kid, you don't know these things, but we didn't have a lot of stuff. We lived in a little one-bedroom cuartito, we used to call them. These would be tall, 10, 20-story buildings with a bunch of rooms in them, and families would live in them. Growing up, I personally didn't know anyone that owned a car. Sometimes my city would go for like weeks without milk or without meat because of food shortages. But my mom, my dad, they made a great job making it work. So I never knew. I was a happy kid growing up, but we didn't have much. But luckily, my dad, he's a scientist, so he got to travel a lot for work and out of the country, so he was able to provide a little more money that way. So he was traveling a lot when I was young. But growing up, it was different. We were always in the streets. We were never home. We're always getting in trouble, and I think that was kind of what led me into sports. There wasn't much to do. You either go out and do little hooligan stuff, or you play soccer, or you wrestle with your friends. You get in fights, and I love the physical aspect of it. I like climbing over fences, kicking soccer balls, whatever. And that was kind of me growing up. And when I got here, and it was kind of a shock to me when I got to middle school. They're like, hey, we have these organized teams. And I'm like, dang, like, we have jerseys. That was so cool. And, I never had that growing up, so it was a different world. And I really tried to make the most of it.
Oh yeah, it sounds like a struggle. But once you got here, you were real like blessed at that point. Like a jersey, like us as individuals in America, we're kind of, I guess, babied a little.
We're spoiled.
Yeah. We're spoiled.
Americans are spoiled, and it's okay that we say that.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what it sounds like. It's like
no, it's true. Have you traveled back home at all since you've been here?
Yes, I have. So I moved here when I was 8. I've been back maybe 3 or 4 times, but I at the time I still had Russian citizenship, and if you were 18, you have to go to the army for 2 years, unless you go to a university, unless you take a government job, unless you get married, unless you have a kid. They could be like, oh, you're married, cool, you get 6 months off. Oh, you have a kid, you get a year off. And then once you get to the age of 27, they don't care anymore. And I went to an American university, but I said, nah, you're not in a Russian university, so it doesn't count. So I haven't been back since I was 18. Obviously, I passed that 27-year-old barrier, and I've been meaning to go, but it's been hard with COVID, and it's a pricey ticket. I still have a lot of relatives back there. Hopefully I can make the trip in the next 2 years.
Shout out to them, man.
Shout out to Russia.
Yeah, for real. That's what's up. So, question: what's the strongest part of your game, man? What do you bring to the table when you're stepping in the ring?
Man, I have to say my best punch is my jab, man. And the cliche you hear, jab's the most important part, and I believe it. I truly believe it, and that's what you got your lightning. That's what sets up the thunder, man. If you got a great jab, you start blinding guys, and then you can really take off and establish yourself and do whatever you want. And I feel like that's the strongest part of my game. But I really pride myself on working the fundamentals, getting technically sound. Because a lot of guys you see in a lot of these combat sports, they can fight, for example, they can't box. You throw him in there, and he's going to eat up the competition. But when you throw him in there against a guy that can fight and that can box, he just looks like a fish out of water. So
that's what's up.
Yeah, being a heavyweight, you normally don't see real technical fighters unless you're like the Gypsy King and stuff like that. Those guys are actual, like, he's a technical heavyweight boxer. He sets his punches up.
Well, that's what he said earlier. Like with Wilder, he came out with the game plan, but he got away from it fairly early. Like he had 12 rounds and lasted maybe about 3 rounds.
Yeah.
By that time, he was he seemed gassed though. How do you manage to how do you approach the gas tank? Because obviously you're a bigger guy, and you see these guys like Wilder and stuff. I don't know, maybe he's lifting too much because he is ripped and muscle. We know how that holds you down. What's your thing? Do you lift maybe not as much and just run?
So I actually don't lift at all. I don't lift any weights. I do run a lot. I run about 6 days a week. I'm sorry, I run 6 days a week. I don't lift at all. For me, managing my cardio in the ring, it's been a lot of trial and error. I've had a lot of amateur fights where I learned the good lessons. I learned the bad lessons, and you got to learn to fight at your own pace. And if you can establish yourself, then you can fight at your own pace. And sometimes, you see the guy, he's real tricky, and, if he's picking you off, then you got to step on the gas, make him uncomfortable. Other times you purposely, slow the guys down, kind of hypnotize them, touch them, score points, and then set it up that way. So, but for me, the biggest thing is, if I know I've done my running, if I know my conditioning's on point, I'm confident in it. If I have to go hard or if I can just slow it down, play the game a little bit. Because I've definitely had fights, especially in the amateurs. You're going in there and you're not in the best of shape, and it's in the back of your mind. And you're like, shit, man, I hope this guy, doesn't try to run my ass over because I'm going to gas. So that's been a huge focal point for me since turning pro. I make sure, I do all my running, then I feel great. Then, if it's a high-paced fight, beautiful. If I can stay back and play the game, beautiful. If I have to push the pace, I can do it. So.
That's good. You're versatile. That's the best thing, is to have multiple levels to your game.
Yeah.
like I said, there's guys I've watched that just have one way of, like, I kind of feel like that's Conor. Conor had that one level of, Conor McGregor had that one level, like he's looking for that left, but you push him into the deeper waters of the rounds, he's gassed. He's gassed because he's always looking for that big one. He never really had a game plan. So.
Yeah, and I feel like his a lot of his tactics he's got great timing. He's got really good eyes, but that he almost sometimes he's a southpaw. He'll wait for you back there, and then when he'll sees you attack, boom, he'll let it go. Or if he sees you backing up, he's gonna move right with you, boom, and let it go. But when you kind of break him from his rhythm and you force him to fight at a pace he's uncomfortable at, it's just like you said, he gets gassed, you drag him to the ground, he slows down, you kick him in the leg, he slows down. But if you let him play his game, yeah, he's going to beat everybody in the world.
Yeah, for sure. Have you ever met Khabib, man?
No, I've never met Khabib. The biggest MMA names I'm good friends with John Jones, Alistair Overeem, Curtis Blades, a lot of those guys. Boxing, I'm friends with Michael Hunter. I've sparred with Andy Ruiz before, so I've been around a lot of big names.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah.
He named 2 world champs, John Jones and Anthony Ruiz.
Yeah, those are some good names that they're out there. Oh, that's cool, man. Yeah, I think, at least from a fan's perspective, it seems like that's probably the biggest thing people can see in a boxer or a fighter is the gas tank. You see a lot of guys just get gassed what seems early. It's like, well,
like, what were you doing this whole time?
Yeah, like, how are you not taking care of that part of it? So.
Right. Absolutely.
No, I mean, I think we're pretty good, huh?
Yeah, I think we are.
I appreciate you. I do have one request, man. Not that you haven't done already a lot. Is there any way we could get you to say like and subscribe in Russian?
Of course. Right now? You ready?
Yeah, ready.
Ставьте лайк и подписывайтесь.
Hey, that's pretty tight.
Man.
That's
We're
tight.
going to clip it. We're going to use that, bro. For real. I appreciate you, dude. Good luck. I hope you get that fight before the end of the year.
Yeah,
I hope it is in New Mexico.
If it's not, still let us know. We'll try to make it. We'll try to make it happen.
For reals. We want to watch you in live, dude. And whatever it takes, we'll make that happen.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. I'd love to have you guys there. The best way to keep up with me is on my Instagram, Baby Drago Boxer. I try to post all my fight news on there, where I'm going to be for camps. So, if you guys are trying to follow me or, link up with me, that's probably the best way to do it. And I also got a page on Facebook as well. Leonid by name, Leonid, Baby Drago, Grachev, Grachev.
Hell yeah, you guys heard it. Like I said, we'll put all the links in the description. Go follow this guy, man. He's New Mexico. He's boxing. He's killing the game 3-0, baby. Let's go, dude. You have a great, blessed week. Hope to talk to you soon. Like I said, best of luck for your next fight, and I'm pretty sure we're going to be there.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you guys so much, man. I enjoyed it. I hope to talk to you soon.
For sure. Later, brother.